you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Of course. There has been many videos all over the internet talking about how Jar Jar Binks could have been the original Darth Plagueis. There's been many theories about when you watch episode 1, you can just see little hints that Jar Jar was planned to have the power of the Force. Whether it be things like flips, jumps, little subtle hand movements being mind tricks. There's even people who follow his lip movement and associate it with him doing mind control. Now, whether you believe all this or not, there's a lot of things about Jar Jar Binks that are still really plausible to make him into the real Phantom Menace.
Jar Jar is a key to all this. If we get Jar Jar working, because he's a funnier character than we've ever had in any of the movies before.
There are many different ways you can interpret the way that George Lucas looks at Jar Jar Binks. It could just be that he only really wanted him to be a funny character. He has later said in interviews that he based him off of Disney's Goofy, which some people are saying that's just an easy way out, claiming that there was never any real motive behind Jar Jar Binks other than he was just crazy and, a funny character. But because of that, would you really want him to have been Plagueis? With the way that he acts, the way that he looks, well, I guess I can say not so much the way he looks. All Star Wars characters have their own design. That's probably less of it, but just his personality overall, is that really somebody that you would have wanted to maybe in the next episode had a plot twist saying that Jar Jar Binks is in fact evil? Personally, I don't think I would have. I'd rather see a more menacing creature be something that is as evil as Darth Plagueis. Now, you could also argue that he was just putting on an act, because as you can see right here, he's about to do what they claim is a force jump. Let's see if this qualifies. I guess it could, in a way, but you have to also imagine that you could have just designed this character to be more agile. If you watch the Clone Wars series, you'll see people like Bane who can do flips and things, and he's not a Jedi, he's just a bounty hunter. So just having other creatures in the world being able to do things that not all the people can do is not necessarily making him into a Jedi or a Sith or anything like that. They've mentioned in this scene that if you watch his hands and the handcuffs, he's constantly moving them around, trying to mind control the Jedi and the Gungans and all that. I really don't buy this, because if he was using the Force right next to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, they would have detected something. Now, they don't detect Sidious because Sidious never really uses the Force around them. He's hiding in the shadow, and later when he finally admits to being what he is, then of course now he's using all his powers. So either way, Jar Jar Binks still ended up with quite an outcome if you look at where he is today. In the latest Aftermath book, they show Jar Jar Binks, well, not really show, they write Jar Jar Binks as being pretty much a street clown. So I guess the real tragedy is not so much what his character could have developed into if they had kept him in on the whole plot twist, so to speak, kind of thing, but really just what he became in the actual canon. He just became a street clown, which his position as a senator would probably have died off pretty quick, because the fact that the Emperor, he took over, there's no more Senate. So what are you going to become? You go home, maybe you're in charge back home on Naboo. They never really explain, at least not that I've seen, what happens to Naboo, whether they gets destroyed. I doubt it would, because I believe Palpatine was from Naboo. I don't think he would destroy his own planet. But anyway, yeah, that's the tragic story of Jar Jar Binks, of somebody who could have had a huge plot twist, had been one of the major characters in the series, even though he never showed up in 4, 5, or 6, but I'm sure they would have written him out somewhere. And he ends up becoming a street performer. So what do you think? Do you hate Jar Jar Binks? Do you like Jar Jar Binks? Do you care less? Is he just part of the Star Wars universe? I personally lean more towards he's just part of the universe. There's plenty of other characters that you can dislike, and other comedy relief characters. Even C-3PO and R2-D2 were kind of the comedy relief. We got the new companion droid from Rogue One, who's the new comedy relief. And maybe it's just, this one was too over the top. It's really, can't be undone, unfortunately. And we have to live with it. And honestly, Star Wars wouldn't be the same if he wasn't there. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.